Please note that the information provided in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your healthcare provider or qualified medical professional with any questions or concerns you may have regarding your health or diabetes management. While we strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information, the content of this podcast may not always reflect the latest research or medical guidelines. We encourage you to consult reputable sources and discuss any changes to your diabetes management plan with your healthcare team. By listening to Sweet as Diabetes, you acknowledge and agree to the terms of this disclaimer. Thank you for joining us on this journey to redefine what it means to live sweetly with diabetes. So welcome everybody to the inaugural episode of Sweet as Diabetes. I am Tyesha, and I intend for this podcast to help people with diabetes and those who care for people with diabetes or just want to know more in general about the autoimmune disease in its entirety. So, yeah, let's get into this. I want this podcast to be something that people can rely on, something consistent, something that you're always learning something new, whether it's an update with the disease itself or with the technology that goes along with having diabetes. Personally, when I first got diagnosed, and honestly thereafter, it was kind of like the community of diabetics were very slim, and it was hard to find information for myself out there. Like, yeah, you have the medical side and what you're supposed to do, what you will feel and things of that nature, but it got to a point where it was like, where is the human side or the humane side of the disease? Like, how do people actually get through their day? And is there a place where people actually know, like, hey, maybe I shouldn't say that, or this is what I need to do in case of something that happens to a diabetic? You know what I mean? So I was more so searching for relatable content that I can be like, okay, so I'm not alone in feeling the way that I feel or going through the things that I go through because I have the condition. So that's what I really intend for this podcast, to open up more conversation, for people not to be ashamed of having diabetes, whether it's type 1, type 2, gestational, 1.5. Apparently that's something too. I'm still learning, and through my research and everything, I do want to share with other people so they can be well informed just like me. So I am Tyesha. I don't know if I said that to begin with, but I am going to be the host of Sweet as Diabetes. And my connection to diabetes is that I am a type 1. I am a type 1 diabetic, and I got diagnosed back in 2019. It is now 2024. I recently, I really had to start over with my journey of it because it became too much, and it seemed like the care that I was under wasn't providing enough or putting enough effort into my care as a type 1 diabetic. And so I'm really just here to get more information and learn about my body more and learn how to take care and preserve myself, because obviously it can be dangerous if you let it get out of control. It can lead to amputations. It can lead to comas and sadly death. But we trying to stop it before it even gets to that point. I want to have all my limbs and keep my spirits high for the most part. So it's a journey, but we gonna go through it together. I have, probably that I know of, maybe off the top of my head, probably 5 family members on different sides of my family tree that have diabetes. Some are through marriage, and some are a little bit closer related. And yeah, so, but nobody ever talks about it. It's always like it's a secret, kind of like it's something to be ashamed of, and it's really not, because it's not really your fault that you have it. Or sometimes, I mean, at least I'm speaking on type 1 because of the fact that it's autoimmune and you just get it. Like, there's nothing you really can do to prevent it. Like, you have honeymoon stages, which is something that I do want to get into later on in the season, and sharing about like what that is. But I mean, it's only so much you could do when it's basically destined for you to get it. And it's okay. Like, it's not like the end of the world. Like, oh my gosh, I got diabetes. What am I gonna do now? But it's like, you just keep calm, carry on, and take care of yourself. Originally, like I was telling you guys, like, I'm not gonna go too into depth with my story, but I did get diagnosed back in 2019. And when I first got diagnosed, months prior, like, I knew something was wrong with me, but I didn't really know what to do. Then I was in college, and my schedule was crazy. So it was like, oh, it could be this, or you could just be tired just because you're taking 5 to 6 classes, like you're a full time student, and things of that nature. Or what, like the thirst and the fatigue and the dry skin, and it's a lot of symptoms that come along with it. And I was trying to disassociate it because you don't want anything to be wrong with you, but um, sometimes you just try to psych yourself out. So it's like, oh, I'm trying to eliminate this, trying to eliminate that, but in time I did get to go to my primary care physician, and that is a whole story in itself. Like, that whole experience was very upsetting, very shocking, very unprofessional. And I laugh about it just because it's like, wow, like I can't even believe like something so out of pocket would be my story, I guess. So, but we gonna get more into my story on the, next time. Next time. So y'all can have the whole time just to know like what happened and everything. But now I guess you could say since the top of the year, since changing my doctor, I feel more at ease. I feel like I'm more in control, and I feel like more knowing about diabetes. And I'm going to continue to learn and continue to share my knowledge with people because what y'all may not know is that I'm 25. I got diagnosed 21, but I felt the symptoms at 20. So it's unheard of. It was unheard of for me because I was like, oh no, type 1 diabetics, you get that in childhood, like your adolescence and whatnot. Why would I be like why would I be getting it just didn't make sense, and nobody really could provide me answers. So I'm taking it upon myself to do better and to educate myself and to connect the dots where I can, because a lot of it just didn't make sense to me. Ooh, the pollen is pollen, because why is it all over my phone, Lord? Um, okay, anyways, moving forward, my goals and my vision for Sweetest Diabetes. I do want to come into the episodes and make them not daunting. Because, you watch some videos and like medical professionals come on and it's like, well, this is what diabetes is. And it's like, bro, nobody want to, like, you want to hear it because obviously, like, you don't know what it is. But I want to make relatable content so that people can feel uh, at ease, feel like they're not alone. That's a big thing with me in my productions. I don't bite your tongue productions. Like, literally, I don't like people feeling like they going through things by themselves. And I know this is more of a specific niche or niche, because I mean everybody's not diabetic. Everybody doesn't know a diabetic. No, like a lot of people don't have to care for diabetics. So obviously this is tailored towards people who have to engage with people or have to deal with it themselves, just so they can find answers and find what they need to survive. Um, I'm so passionate in finding answers just because I have to literally live with this myself. So, in educating myself, I'm educating others and having the platform to do that, like having the resources to be able to, oh, I can just get on the mic, get on my camera, and just do what I have to do to provide what people need because I essentially need it too. So, why not share it when you find it, you know? And I feel like I don't know enough diabetics in my life to ask them like what do they go through or like how to solve different problems, like even before this initial shoot, my like my blood sugar has been going up and down all day long, and it's like I don't know if it was the heat or what because I've been eating all day like on the hour. And it's like things like that you want to know, like what is going on inside and internally that is causing me to feel these different highs and lows right now. So that's a big important factor to me, just to get understanding. And you know, I want to create a community where people don't feel like it's such a bad thing to share what is going on in their lives because it could essentially help somebody else who's dealing with the same exact thing as they are. So, um, being able to create a system of diabetics who can share their stories and like get tips or tricks or anything like as far as dieting and exercise, medication, whatever, and you know that's what the real like objective of my podcast is, and that's what I really want to surrounding kind of nail into people because it's important essentially. Hopefully what I really want is to meet other diabetics, have them come on the podcast and talk about their experiences, get healthcare professionals opinions and facts and figures of course, and to make sense of all of this as much as we can because it is not up to one person or one type of group of people like healthcare professionals. I feel like, especially that we live with the condition, we should be able to look deeper into ourselves and find what is actually going on. We live with it. And I mean, you can take it two ways. You can either look at it as your downfall or your superpower, and I choose to make it my superpower. Like, you can't take this condition and just make it seem like, oh, well, I have it. I guess that's the end of my life. Like, no, you have to be able to take this situation and create whatever you need to out of it, you know, something positive. I mean, because everything isn't all bad. I mean, this is what I believe. There's good in every bad, and there's bad in every good. So, you know, it's a balance, and you just have to balance it out like any other thing. Also, I guess on social media, you'll find different inspirational quotes and different tips and tricks on what to do. I really want to make that a daily thing, just so, or maybe every other day type of thing. But I want to be consistent in that realm, just so people have something to look forward to. Like just a little positive message what can change somebody's day. So I just feel like it's necessary in this movement or this community, whatever you want to say. Um, but for the most part, that is my introduction to Sweetest Diabetes. I hope that you think about subscribing, liking, leaving comments, or whatever you want to do. Share the podcast if you need to or want to with somebody that either lives with diabetes, somebody who takes care of diabetics, or a healthcare professional so they can help me help you. Yeah, yeah. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Don't be scared to leave comments about topics that you want to hear about. I'm down for the research. I love doing that in my free time anyway, like not just with diabetes, but just in general. That's my thing. So, that's what we're gonna do. I want to thank you all for tuning in to the very first episode of Sweetest Diabetes. And I do hope that you do return and bring your friends and family so that we can all grow together. And yeah, it's a lot going on. And the lives that diabetes impact is astronomical. So, yeah, I just really appreciate you guys for listening. And I hope that you come back next time. Sweet as Diabetes, hosted by Tyesha. So, bye.